What's going on, guys? ShadowNinja, and today we're going to be covering the update number 2 for Battlefield 2042. I know in my recent videos I said I'm not going to really cover this game that much or do stuff like that. I also mentioned that it's going to be gameplay wise and stuff like that, and anything that is updates or things that will improve the game I will cover because I feel like it's my due diligence, since I am a massive Battlefield fan, but at the same time do have my complaints. So again, I'm still not going to be making videos talking about gameplays and best stuff and all that other good content you can get from a game traditionally when it launches, but again, this is an update that they have dropped, and I think it should be talked about and give you my thoughts. Does it improve things? Does it make things worse? Stuff like that. So that being said, guys, EA has already announced 2 big updates coming to this game. One of them, which we are talking about now, another one coming later in the weeks or the months, I forget, but it's going to be very soon. I forget the exact timetable, but that is the bigger update we should be expecting. So again, this update isn't that big, but at the same time, I think it focuses around improving gunplay in the Battlefield 2042 experience, or known as the all-out warfare experience. So let's talk about some things in this update that they highlighted that should be improved or fixed or changed. So with that being said, first on the list is bullet spread has been reduced on all weapons except shotguns. This should result in better accuracy during gunplay. Now let's first talk about that bullet point right there. In general, the gunplay does feel a little bit better with all weapons, but at the same time, it still is lacking a lot of balance. And this will definitely be coming in the coming days, months, weeks of more data and stuff like that DICE can probably hopefully utilize and change some of the gunplay mechanics. As it stands now, SMGs are still the gold standard and can do everything. I do not know why that's the case, but it is the case. The M5A3 is much better than it was before, but still I was performing much better with the PBX and the PP29. And next up, the PP29 also got a little bit of a nerf, but we'll talk about that. So increase PP29 vertical recoil to ensure that the weapon class does not overperform when engaging outside of its intended combat ranges. Unfortunately, guys, it seems like they didn't do much on that regard. The recoil is a bit more, it is increased, but again, I don't think increasing vertical recoil is going to be a proper nerf, especially since it's probably the more manageable style of recoil that players can control. Kind of learn a little bit and you're back on track of just outperforming many different classes, and that's kind of the highlight of SMGs in general. They are the best well-rounded weapon to taking out snipers, to taking out ARs, to taking out shotguns. These weapon types will definitely improve, and this update only kind of makes them even more powerful. So if you guys are expecting all weapons to feel great, I would hold my breath on that one. SMGs are still the gold standard of the sandbox right now in the meta, so some of this stuff I guess kind of made it worse with some of these changes, but at the same time, guns feel a little bit more responsive, but I don't think they're there just yet. So another thing is they've resolved an issue where players who were killed close to obstacles such as walls and water were unable to be revived. I have yet to run into this issue again. It was happening to me and it was happening to some other things I'll play on. Haven't really seen this issue come up, so it does seem like they've resolved. Now, they also resolved instances where players were stuck in a down state and unable to respawn. We've also introduced a hidden timer that will activate after 30 seconds of being down in a down state that will force players to redeploy should it be required. Again, that's a minor change. Haven't really noticed that. Now, some of the things I did notice is the effective damage of vehicles. We'll be getting into some of that after, whether this does anything to improve the gunplay and infantry and combat side of the game, but again, let's go over some of the changes they did here. So the MD540 Nightbird mounted 20mm cannons, we are reducing the radius at which bullets do damage upon impact and decreasing their splash damage. So reduce the blast radius size from 3 to 2, reduce the inner blast radius damage from 1.5 to 0.75. Now the KA52 Super Hokum 30mm cannon side mount, we are reducing overall damage at range, which of the bullets do full damage while increasing the overall bullet spread. Reduce blast radius from 2 to 1.6, reduce blast damage from 20 to 14, reduce bullet damage before damage fall off starts at 18 to 15, reduce damage fall off distance from 200 to 180, reduce bullet damage at max fall off distance from 8 to 6, increase bullet range and spread. Now the AH-64GX Apache Warchief and KA-520 Super Hokum, the 30mm cannon, we are reducing the radius at which the bullets do damage upon impact and decreasing their splash damage. So reduce the blast damage from 20 to 18, increase the damage fall off for enemies that are further away from the bullet impact center. We are reducing the overall damage of the minigun for all land vehicles alongside bullet damage drop off now starting earlier. So reduce the bullet damage before damage fall off starts from 18 to 13, reduce damage fall off distance from 60 to 40, reduce bullet damage at max fall off distance to 6, equip armor type for the LCAA hovercraft has been adjusted, which increases its vulnerability against different weapon types. Now, all this stuff is a lot. but does it reduce the vehicle-centric focus in the base game of All Out Warfare? And honestly, guys, I'm gonna say no. Still, a lot of my experiences were with the hovercraft, not killing me with its weapons, but still killing me with running me over. Now, I do not know how DICE is going to address this issue, but again, I wasn't dying from vehicles' weapons, specifically on the land side of things. I was dying to getting run over, and it's kind of annoying. And people probably say, well, just watch out and not get ran over. Well, it's kind of hard because these things just come out of nowhere. They run you over and things like that, and you're like, oh, this is a great experience. So what can they do to improve the vehicle-centric running people over simulator that Battlefield 2042 currently is right now? Honestly, guys, they need to adjust a lot of the design aspects of the map. They need to add a lot more cover for infantry within the infantry-focused parts of the map and things like that. So it's kind of annoying just coming around and getting ran over by a vehicle. These things don't shoot, they don't do anything. Now, in terms of air vehicles' effective capabilities, I did notice something where they weren't as effective and weren't as powerful, but at the same time, I do feel like they did hit a nice little balance where they are effective but aren't overly powerful. So hopefully we get some different stuff like that. But at the same time, air vehicles kind of suck too, because there is so much stuff to take them out and they have very little countermeasures, especially to the hacking ability. So hopefully that changes in the future. But yeah, now with some of the other stuff, Battlefield Portal, the UAV has been enabled, so that's good. Don't really need to talk about that too much. It's, again, Portal I don't think is in a good gameplay state for certain aspects, but hopefully the next update hinted that they're going to be addressing some of this other stuff. They also fixed that breakthrough matches will not correctly end after the last sector has been captured. They still haven't ended the result of sometimes just spawning into a dead server and it just waiting for no reason for this game to start or end. Still resorting into that issue. Also resolved an issue that caused players queued for a match in Battlefield Portal to be sent back to the menu instead of joining the match when a slot became available. And they made general improvements to this ability to prevent rare occurrences of game crashing. Now, game crashing, again, I really haven't experienced this so far on PC. So again, hopefully they did make more improvements so I don't experience this. But in general, guys, I think this update takes a couple steps forward, but it doesn't address a lot of the core issues with the game itself. Gunplay does feel slightly better, but again, balancing between weapons is still in an interesting state where SMGs are kind of godly. So with that being said, again, not much of my opinions have changed so far. I have been playing it. It does feel a little bit better, but again, there's still a lot of fundamental issues with this game. Hopefully update 3 comes around, we get a little bit more stability and more things coming there. It does sound like that update. They have said that it is the biggest update and there is a lot of changes coming there, but as it stands now, update number 2, it's a good step, but nothing that drastic to say this game is in a phenomenal state. That's going to take a while, guys. So if you guys are hoping that this update did a lot of work, it doesn't, but it does make some of the minor, I guess you could say, annoyances of the game that we were experiencing much more tolerable. So with that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed the update so far for Battlefield 2042, definitely hit this like button. If you guys have any other comments regarding this update, leave a comment down below. We can have a conversation about it. But with that being said, guys, all I got for this one. For more Battlefield 2042 updates until this game gets in a better state, definitely subscribe. Don't expect no gameplays or stuff like that from me until this game is in an acceptable state. But yeah, if you guys also like other games like Call of Duty and Destiny or any other game you see me cover on this channel, definitely subscribe here if you guys are new and are not yet subscribed. With that being said, that's all I got for this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.